Hey everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program RP-0. We are out on the launch pad again today. We've got our nice Mark III Sheruiken locked and loaded, fueled and ready to go. We are targeting our new station, and our relative inclination is being weird. Anyway, we have a crew of 6 today, which is awesome. We're going to drop a couple people off at this station, provided, of course, we can perform a successful rendezvous and let them test out this mobile lab. But we should probably get this launch sequence underway before our relative inclination goes any wonkier. We're down to about 0.17-ish or so. It keeps bouncing around. So anyway, ignition sequence start. Yeah, that looks like a good light. Let's get these clamps off. Whoa. Hey there. Okay. Oh, let's turn on SAS. That is usually quite helpful in these situations. Alice Campbell is our mission commander and at the flight controls today. So hopefully she can deliver a nice, smooth, clean ride to orbit. We're going to sit in a lower parking orbit for about 12 days to fulfill a 3 Kerbal to low Earth orbit contract that is paying for basically the entire station and this launch to crew it, before we will boost ourselves up into a higher orbit and perform our rendezvous. So hopefully we'll get all of that taken care of today. So the Sheruiken's a little finicky on its flight, especially after booster steps, so I'm probably going to need all of the concentrations to pull this off, especially since our relative inclination has already slid to half a degree. So I'm going to work on getting this to orbit, and I will pick all of you up there. So I think I've well and made it obvious that flying this Mark III Sheruiken is not exactly an easy task. It's not the most difficult thing, but it is a little combative. And because all of the control surfaces are off-center from the center of mass, keeping it along that appropriate vector for our relative inclination is a bit taxing, which is why I'm really glad I sped all of this up in post and didn't try to talk through it. But it's kind of my normal gig, I suppose. It was quite challenging, but at the end of the day, we were able to get it up with low enough relative inclination where we did not require an independent inclination change burn. Although I certainly wasn't at the top of my game. As you noticed, I did not throttle up those HG3 sea levels until after booster set. But we are so far below the maximum tonnage, I guess, for this vehicle that it really isn't going to have a great deal of effect, and those boosters are nice and powerful. So they got us up and on course just fine. I think the real difference is that I'm going to have to angle above horizon by several degrees, and once you start doing that, like basically once you start tapping a control, that's when it starts fighting with you. It's like the SAS can hold the node until you decide to do something manually, and then it's just going to do whatever the hell it wants. So in an effort to combat some of this, I started moving some fuel around, but of course liquid hydrogen, not that dense, therefore not that heavy. So it doesn't make a huge bit of difference about pumping a very not dense substance around as far as offsetting your center of mass. But either way, like once we had that heading pretty well dialed in, which was not at this moment because you still see me shaking along the yaw axis, trying to get that number to come back down to something reasonable. It was just a matter of holding angle above or below horizon. Always a challenge. So there was that. A pretty smooth launch otherwise, despite my incessant wrestling with the poor thing. This thing really needs a rebalance pass, but since we've got some much bigger, much more powerful engines, i.e. the RS-25 and the RD-170s opened up, I think it might be time to get another shuttle program on the way. But we'll deal with that in the future. This is far and away good enough for what we need it to do currently, other than it being just a real big pain in the trousers to get to orbit. and now you'll see that I have pitched too far up. So we're going to start trying to angle a little below horizon to control that runaway apogee before it becomes too much of a problem. Anyway, we're coming up to the end of this, so back to old me for live commentary. And there we have shut down. We are at 6:15 by 2:35. We're just going to go ahead and stage off our EFT. Lots of fuel left in that thing. Whoa, come on. What are you doing? Yeah, we'll just, we'll give it a little nudge. Why not? And try to up and pull ourselves back and away. Oh, right. Well, it was a fight, but we kept the relative inclination to about 0.02. All right, where is our target? I'm not sure if that's us or if that's it. That is us. So our target is probably way the hell over here. Yeah, all right. Let's see if we can't intercept it and what kind of maneuver that's going to give us. 403 meters per second. You've got to be kidding me. And that's only in 23 hours. That means we're probably going to take another lots of Delta V. We've got 488 currently. Let me open the cargo bay. So there's been a slight change in our flight plan because I did not include... Oh wait, this life support is locked, so maybe we can. Let's open that up and see what that brings our... Well, we've already made our orbit way too unsustainable for this. Yeah, 21 days. So what I think we're going to do is dock with the station, bring on more fuel. This bottom tank here should be fuel, right? Yeah, Aerozine N2O. We may dip into those reserves a little bit, seeing as how we're a little low. But we're going to rendezvous with the station, deploy our HAB module, and then dock the shuttle with it. Probably give ourselves a little more fuel to get safely down to Earth, or that too. But we're going to dock with it, fuel up the shuttle a little bit, move it to a lower orbit so we can complete our contract, and then come home. So we're doing all the same things, but in a slightly different order. So I'm just going to figure out a best possible solution for this whole docking fiasco. That's our descending node. That is our apoapsis at 620. We should bring that down at our periapsis. So I'm just going to play a lot with maneuver nodes. Expect me to speed all this up in post. And I did. Not that watching sped up footage of somebody tinkering with nodes is any more or less interesting than watching somebody do it in real time. But we have an initial burn plotted to lower our, I guess our periapsis, or at least put us on a plane, not even a plane, to get our orbits to line up at some point, I think at our station's apogee. So with that node plotted, we will warp around. It's going to be just a little bit before we get there, just on the other side. Yep. And with our engines all activated and ready, we'll commence this burn. And there's engine light. Oh, the delicate balancing act of using off-center OMS engines. Yeah, we're still 4 minutes out from our node. We've got 10 seconds left on this burn. I don't think it's going to be the most accurate thing, but we're just going to run with it. All right, shut down. There we go. RCS off because you're driving me absolutely crazy and chewing up all the fuel. 403 meters per second. Let's warp around and see what kind of closest approach we can get. And hopefully do this the rightish way. So you know what, we're going to turn off probes and the old space station. So the only targets I have are the orbital lab and us. And now with things cleaned up a little bit, it's a lot easier for me to just target the globe and basically let many orbits happen while we wait for our rendezvous point to magically appear. That looks pretty good. And with it there, I'll start hammering out. Let's see what we can do with this. A node. I don't know why I left that in there. Interrupting myself. Anyway, again, more tinkering with nodes. I should really get a tinkering with nodes song. But I think I was able to do this a lot more efficiently than what MechJeb wanted me to do, although I'm sure MechJeb would have gotten me there a day or so sooner. I never even bothered to check the elapsed mission time for this, but we got like 2 weeks of life support. They'll be fine. Everything's fine. Alright, 1.6K for 22.2 meters per second. Take that, MechJeb. That burn is in 38 minutes. We'll go ahead and get ourselves angled in for that. Since the RCS decides to do what I tell it to and not just whatever the hell it wants to do. And then we'll have to make it burn to match speeds, and that is probably going to be the heavy one. We'll get to that when we get to that. Alright, and time warp. 38 minutes until ignition. Should have spun the spacecraft around so I could charge these batteries. How close to dead are our batteries? Nah, not that bad. But yeah, let's we're just gonna roll a little bit here and get these panels into the sun. They're probably not going to undo what we're experiencing here with our electric charge, but they'll probably help. No, hey, yeah, we are charging now. That's excellent. See if we can do it while keeping this heading. Yeah, we are charging, but only barely. Alright, about 40 seconds out from our node. Ullage in our engines. Activate our secondary. Yeah, we can wait a couple of seconds here. I would like to be kind of precise on this one. It does help our separation at closest approach to be as faithful to this node as possible, so we're just going to use these RCS thrusters to get a little closer. Five, four, three, ignition. Alright, we'll shut down there. 2.2 meters per second. We'll top that off on RCS. Our separation at closest approach is falling. 1.2, 1.1. Let's get that below a kilometer. Nope, doesn't look like we're going to do that. Can we get there? Just ignoring the node now. Yep, okay, off. Because RCS likes to fight with me. 1 kilometer. Fantastic. So let's match velocities at closest approach. 112.4 meters per second. That burn will take 1 minute 56 seconds. Perfect. We're going to try to time it all on the lead so that we can arrest our speed at the very second of closest approach, and then try to do the rest of this manually. So let's take our 55 minutes. We'll take our orbit and rendezvous with our station. Oh, this is terrifying. Alright, 2 minutes out from our node. I'll reactivate the RCS. That would be critical. We're just going to operate on our secondary engine this burn, more than likely. 369 meters per second left in the tanks. We're actually not doing that bad as far as fuel is concerned. If we didn't have to make this plot into a lower orbit to camp out for 12 days. we could probably just not do the whole fueling thing. Yeah, almost. Right about there. Right about there. Okay. Perfect. So we'll start it off with RCS because that seems to keep us pointed in line. The station, of course, it's nighttime, will be coming up behind us. We're going to have to switch back to it and turn on the lights. So we're just closest approach in 1 minute 35 seconds. It should be entering render range soon to soon-ish. That's not it. That's the moon. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, ignition. And we'll use our RCS to fight the roll from our offset engine. Hear me, baby. Where are you? Nope, 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 nope. Come on. There we go. There it is. Still not in render range. Kill it. Now our closest approach is 2 point some odd kilometers. So we're going to just use RCS to adjust for this. I saw it dip very, very low. Yeah, how about 400 meters in 21 minutes? Fantastic. That should put us well onto the day side. Are we charging our batteries? No. Not quite in sunlight either. So, alright. We'll kill this node. 21 minutes until our closest approach. We'll just keep an eye on this thing here. Lost it in the clouds, but it's entering render depth. That's why we get this big long pause. High part count stuff tends to do this. There we go. A couple of hiccups later, there's our station. This is fantastic. We are 6 minutes, 4 minutes. Wow. Oh, that is awesome. It looks kind of ghostly down there. Alright, we're about 50 seconds out from our closest approach, so we're going to go ahead and try to zero out our speed. Leave SAS on and turn RCS back on also, if you could please. Alright, let's try to zero this out. Alright, point 1. Now we should just be able to point at our target, which is the opposite direction of where I am going. It should be right below us. Yaw control leaves something to be desired on these thrusters, that's for sure. 432 meters away. Man, just the act of turning has brought our speed up to 0.3 meters per second, and we're drifting away-ish. So we'll try to figure that out. Okay. There's that. Let's get closer. Well, I said closer, space station. How did you... I don't understand what the hell is up with that. The time warping thing makes things jump further away at certain distances. It's really frustrating. Right. Yeah, see? What the hell? Come on, that's just not even cool, guys. Seriously? You make me do this not using time warp? Because I saved a lot of fuel getting here. MechChev wanted me to use all of it in one burn. Alright, well, I guess we're going to do this the slowpoke way. Yeah, so I don't know what this glitch is that keeps making the space station go further away from us in time warp, even though we are approaching it. But man, it is getting super frustrating, super fast. This is ridiculous. Yeah, very, very ridiculous, because I kind of rely on time warp, or at least physics warp, to get me closer to something when trying to dock. What the hell? And this whole thing was just not helping. Not funny. Alright. Fine. Speed up. This is going to end badly one of these times. But it does make for some very interesting cinematography. I imagine seeing that from the crew cabin would be a little terrifying, but I swallowed my impatience slowly and just kind of did this sans time warp, using only physics warp really, which caused a much less dramatic effect, but did allow me to actually make my final approach to the station. Thank goodness, because that was getting real old real fast. It's going to be very interesting not docking using time warp in the future. Alright, brakes, 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 brakes. So we've finally made our final approach here, just slowing it down a bit. Braked. Alright. Fantastic. Now it is time to deploy our HAB module and get it docked. And since it has no real authority of its own, we will activate that. It has its own life support. Good. Battery's dead. That needs to be remedied. Electric charge out. God, this is going to take forever. It has no real power supply of its own. So I really... This may have been a misstep on my part. I wonder how long it's going to retain charge once it is unhooked. Alright, and open up its fuel. There we go. Decouple node. Whoa! Stop the spin. Come back, little dude. Oh, no, no. Oh boy, that was interesting. Okay, well, there's our retrograde vector. Great. I wonder how long this battery's gonna hold out. That was fun. I did not see it ejecting itself from the bay in quite such a manner. Alright. We are back in stable. Our scientific crew is intact, although a little, probably not happy with the situation. We need to select docking port, set as target. Fantastic. Make sure we don't pile into the station. Probably means we should slow down some. And we'll do our control from here. Alright, let's hope this battery holds. How long do we have? Oh, we're doing fine. We're doing just fine. I forgot there's a battery in this thing too, which we should unlock. And the fuel. And the life support. That would have been smart. God, as the shuttle drifts even further away. And that's going to be the thing that's real hard to dock. But because I built this thing in the shuttle bay, it's a little off balance, which made it just a little wonky. Alright, let's get our bearings. Alright, let's just angle in here. Yeah, that'll give us enough lateral velocity to do stuff. Fantastic. Oh, that worked out pretty well. No. Wow, 0.5 meter per second just on that. Great. This is going to be interesting. Get on target and then slow down. Did I just run into it? Yeah, I did. You know, what's a little bit of scraped paint between friends, really? But, yeah, anyway. Back to the docking. Look at that. Oh, that was beautiful. I didn't even think I was anywhere near that close. Oh, fantastic. Our crew is docked. We can inflate our life support hab sleeping pod things, our space tents. Yeah, I can't. Oh boy. Alright, let's bring out robotics and can I edit groups? I just want to move one hinge. Dock extenders, the dock hinges. Oh, it did not like that. No, no, not one little bit. Okay. Oh, okay. Engage lock. Let's time warp for 0.5 second just to stabilize things. Turn your RCS off. Time warp again to stabilize things. Hooah! Alright. And now maybe the shuttle. Although I think we need to move the other dock hinge around. So, god dang it, I should have just done them both at the same time. Because we probably want the bulk of the spacecraft facing this way. Or do we? That would put the cabin here, the rest of the shuttle back here. Man, I should have put it on a Rototron. That would have been real smart. Alright. Before we transfer our crew around, let's make sure we can get this shuttle. Oh, dude, how did you get... Wow! That makes so much sense. Oh, it was the time warping I did. Every time I tapped time warp from the station, the shuttle took off running. All the challenges. Alright. And we're moving away at 2 meters a second somehow. Wow. What the... Where? How? How? Yeah. Okay. And then it's going to be another 5 minutes of waiting. Well, I guess the ejection of the hab pod from the shuttle bay probably had a little to do with this. Alright, well, that's fine. That's going to take us to within 40 meters. So we'll just hopefully use some physics warp for the next minute and some change. See, it doesn't really look like we're getting any closer. Although apparently, in 1 minute, we will be 37 meters away. Yeah. Now we're getting closer. We need to come in underneath it. Or I could just roll. So now we have to move to the far side. I thought I was making things easier by docking with the far one for the hab pod. But this is where things are going to get icky. Kind of messy. So bear with me, everyone. It's going to be an interesting ride. And this was the big one. This was the maneuvers that I had been fearing the most since launching this mission, or really challenging myself to do this. So first we're going to retract the solar panels on the shuttle because they will obviously be in the way, and then we'll just slowly start to make our approach, trying to slide very neatly under the station while we speed this up to about 10 times normal speed in post, and then perform what can only be described as the greatest orbital handbrake turn ever executed. There it is. Is basically just a nice set of maneuvers to get ourselves lined up with the docking port, since we basically need to put it inside the cargo bay to achieve docking here, which was probably not the best design choice, but it's what we've got, and I thought I could pull it off. So we'll get ourselves a little closer. Yeah, I think them solar panels are going to be in the way, but I want to try to zero out as much of this velocity as I can. Maybe get a little closer, and we'll just we'll take a closer look. Yeah, we're going to hit. So let's switch over to the station, fold those back in. We're going to need to retract the arm to get it out of the way. It's this one. There we go. Lock that hinge in place just to make sure it doesn't go banging against the cabin. That could be tragic. And then back up to our normally accelerated pace here in post. Yeah, so it was a lot of assuming that I had one axis correct and then trying to correct on another. Yeah, looks like we're pretty well lined up. That's just a great screenshot, isn't it? I wish I had the foresight to take that picture. Oh well. And then the very delicate part, which you can't really see, we've got the port in the bay. I'll throttle back the time warp here, and then we'll try to go ahead and complete our docking. Slowly but surely, and very, very delicately, I might add. Woohoo! Docked! Yes! Oh, that is awesome. And a really tight fit. I do not recommend doing this ever. But look at that, we're docked. And oh man, within like inches of stuff. Oh, I really should have put these on rotatrons so I could dock the shuttle. I'll set 90 degrees this way or something, because man, that is a tight fit. Super tight. Oh, but now I can breathe easy. That was certainly a challenge, and I don't regret doing it. That was fun, but man, wow. Okay, well, I'm sure all of you are horribly out of breath from screaming docking abort alignment indicator at me this entire time, but you know what? I pulled it off, and I'm going to be proud of this moment for now and forever. I'm going to have to take some screenshots to commemorate this massively historical event, because holy shnikes, that was quite brutal, I'd have to say. I do not recommend anyone ever attempt doing things this way, if you haven't noticed. So, anyway, oh man, all of these are going to get posted to stuff. That was absolutely amazing. Whew, alright, well, now we can get our crew into the science lab, we can get our fuel pumped over, and you know what, I might as well do such things now. Why can I only see? There's John Oliver is a scientist, EVA. Please don't break anything. It's not funny when your space station gets smashed apart. Trust me, the crew at Mars already knows, and you guys are kind of testing out some new equipment that we're going to be sending to them soon to soonish. So, grab. Board? No. Yes. Oliver is in the science lab, and he can now begin sciencing. Start researching. We should probably give them some science to do some things with. Where is our other scientist? Bill? Engineer. Pilot. Engineer. John. Engineer. Oh, can we... Alright. John Oliver. Nina is an engineer. Alice is the pilot. Bill is an engineer. I swore we had another Kerbal on this. Transfer crew. Okay, I guess it's Nina. Says she's an engineer. Anyway, we're going to transfer her into the science module. Something has prevented Nina from moving to the science processing lab. Okay, I will figure this out all on my own. No need to bore any of you with all of these ridiculous things. I should probably also get these other two solar panels extended to make sure we're not losing battery, since we've got two panels that cannot be operated due to the shuttle being in the way. Extend. So what's our charge looking like? Oh, we have a drain. We probably need to rotate. Oh, this isn't going to be fun. Yeah, we need to put all of these panels somewhat in the sun. Oh, are we still not going to be able to generate a surplus here? Man, we're going to have to ditch the Hydrolox core. It has, how did that go? Alright. All the way around. Come on, guys. Okay, now it's dropping. And we're just going to wait for one of those panels. There we go. Now we have a charge. Fantastic. That makes me extra happy. Alright, we're going to deorbit our Hydrolox stage. We don't need it. But we are going to take most of the fuel out. I am going to top off the core so that we can get a solid burn on it to deorbit it more effectively. I guess I'll just leave one whole tank there, although I really doubt it's going to take that much to be effective. So we'll just, we need to fuel up the shuttle anyway. Alright, where is your core? Should be right down here in the center. You three can go away. Oh, hey, it's got an electric charge. That's fantastic. Alright, so you're just extra mass. We have to swing around now. So decouple. RCS is on. We'll pull these away gently. We do not want to damage our shuttle. And now, officially, the shuttle is pretty massive compared to the station itself. Alright, we don't need to rendezvous you with anything. We do want to face you to orbital retrograde. And light these engines, yo. That should help the battery draw on the station itself. And we could throw it to prograde. How much? Yeah, we've got 10 kilometers per second at delta V. We could throw this into deep, deep space. Instead, we're probably going to throw it into a deep, deep ocean. Alright, let's ullage in these engines. And we use next to no fuel from this thing. I actually feel kind of bad. And we'll make our deorbit burn, pulling very quickly away from our station. And while we do this, we should consider that, hey, our orbital lab needs it. What the hell? Yeah, that was weird. Okay, our orbital lab needs a name. So if you have a suggestion for a name for that experimental piece of equipment that I will hopefully never dock a shuttle to ever again. I think the return leg for everybody on it is going to be, I don't know, maybe I'll just leave the shuttle up there until they complete some experiments and stuff, and then we'll figure it out from there. And just bring it home in one trip, leave it open. Anyway, any future dockings with that thing are probably going to be on the back of an Artemis or a similarly styled capsule, because, man, that was ridiculous. Although I am kind of proud. So anyway, there's that. So if you have a suggestion for the name of our awesome station, please leave it in the comments for me below. Most votes wins, unless you really, really knock my socks off. So I think that's going to do it for this episode, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I will leave you with a awesome deorbit. So thank you so much for hanging out, and until next time, everybody, see you later.